Sarah Colvin, and joining us live in studio, Town Manager Tom Lynch. Tom, good morning.
Good morning. I liked your description of yesterday's Patriots game. We said we squished the fish.
We did.
So
We
we're
love
right on
that.
top of them.
Absolutely. A good show by the Patriots.
You know, that slogan came about after they had beaten us so many times, and we finally went down to Miami to squish the fish, and it was wonderful. And since then, we've had a nice run here in the AFC East. So
yes,
we're looking forward to moving forward on the season.
Absolutely. Well, so much going on. A sign dedication in Cotuit Village this weekend.
Yeah, you know, the 375th Committee decided that they wanted to have a lasting memory to the whole 375 celebration we had. So at the junction of Main Street, Cotuit, Newtown Road, Old Kings, and Old Oyster Road right there, they had a sign, you know, created and erected, and Joyce was, who was the chair of the committee, you know, introduced Jessica Rapgrossetti for a few words. I had a chance to you know, thank the village for its contribution to the celebration. I think one of the things that was, you know, strong about our whole celebration is we had each of the villages that put together various events, and you know, we had in West Barnstable, we had the 125th celebration of the renovation of the old selectmen's building, and brought together all councilors and former selectmen, and it was really I thought a very meaningful tribute there. And then of course we had kicked off the ceremony in Barnstable Village at the rededication of the town seal on May 4th, and then you know, in Hyannis we had the wonderful community picnic and the concert, and I remember going to Cotuit, and you know, one of the Cotuit Kettleers and Hyannis baseball games. They served cake, and Jessica Rapgrossetti threw out the first pitch, strike right down the middle, and so it was all you know, a lot of events like that I remember about it. But as I say, they wanted a lasting memory. It's a welcoming sign, and we certainly applaud, you know, all that we did. So when I look back on 2014, I think one of the highlights is going to be all of the events that went on. Of course, we have the commemorative book that's still for sale at the town clerk's office.
Yes, makes a good Christmas gift.
Makes a great Christmas gift. So, you know, lots happening on that front.
Absolutely. You know, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say Joyce Genouve, of course, who was on our 375th committee and was headed up that sign dedication. Later that night, I saw her on stage at the Cotuit Center for the Arts because she was in the production of Annie, and she did a phenomenal job.
You know, you see community members in so many different roles in the community, but that show Annie, if I know they've been sold out,
yes,
but if folks want a good evening out, they should check the website to see whether there's been any change. People, you know, have to give up tickets sometimes, and you can sneak in. Wonderful show. Just, oh, it's great.
Very well done.
Just
so I want to talk, well, of course, we'll be talking with Mary Chakowski, our Superintendent of Schools, in our next interview segment, but we have heard some news regarding a possible change in her position. So
yeah, she called last Wednesday and wanted to come in and see me, and generally when I get a call from the chief of police or the schools or DPW and they need an emergency meeting, it's generally not good news. But and in this instance, it's an opportunity that you know, she wasn't looking for, but suddenly presented itself to apply to the Lexington school system, and for their superintendent's position. It seems to have moved along quite quickly, and by the end of the week, I guess there'll be some sort of decision. But we've just had a wonderful working relationship here in the town between the municipal side and the schools. We've had, you know, solid operating budgets, good capital budgets. I think Dr. Mary's focus is naturally always on the children, always on education, but all the mechanics that go together to put that process together, she's just been a joy to work with. So if she's not successful, we're going to be very pleased about that. If she is successful, we're pleased for her about that. So either way, you know, we'll, you know, the school committee, I'm sure will be moving forward, and we'll know how to do that after after Friday.
Exactly. So another search might be
Might
in
be
the
another
works.
search on the horizon.
Indeed. So the Custom House, of course, I know there's a CPC item on tonight's meeting, but there's been some bids for that.
You know, all of our properties that we lease out, we bid out periodically, and the Coast Guard Heritage Museum that has been operating there were the sole responders to the request for proposals this time, and I've got a small team reviewing that proposal, make sure all the aspects are in there that we were looking for, and I would be expecting to be signing that pretty quickly to keep them in there, because they've been a very nice addition to the village, and talking about a history of the Coast Guard that's very significant in our area.
Absolutely. So good to know that they will continue to operate out there.
The other thing I wanted to mention was, you know, we talk in these segments about a lot of meetings, and when folks who get my e-news each week know that I'll review, you know, different senior managers meetings we have, Cape managers meetings, other meetings that are put together with counselors and agenda setting meetings and such. And I just wanted to point out that in some of the things that happen in some of those meetings, and this last Wednesday when we had the senior managers meeting, we were discussing a variety of issues, and then I go around and ask each department what they would like to share about things that are going on. The chief mentioned some of the opiate issues that the police were confronting, and the number of overdoses that they had to deal with in the course of the last calendar year, and the resources that went into that. Tom McKean from Public Health, when it was his turn, mentioned that, you know, they had been talking with the Board of Health about how to do more education around prevention and this issue, because they see it on a lot of different levels and impacting public health that's out there. Then our DPW spoke and said, look, it's an issue for us too, because we're out and we see the needles. We see the folks that drop them in the ground, put them you know, in parking lots, by the bandstand, whatever it might be, and they're raking those up, and we have education on how to safely handle the trash, and the non-piercing gloves and things of that nature. And then we know that it's an issue for the schools and for young people. The senior center then piped up and said, well, listen, you know, we talk about that at the senior level, because there are opiates that seniors get that become addictive, and we in general talked about that from a physician prescription point of view. We know there's a lot of discussions going on there. So just in one meeting, we had, you know, 5 different agencies touch on how this problem impacts us, and the monies and resources that we put into it. And the police department isn't going to solve it. The schools alone aren't going to solve it. It's really going to be a community effort that has some long-term solution to this. We're hoping to work very closely with the Cape Cod Hospital on this. They've hired Cheryl Bartlett, the former Commissioner of Public Health, to come down and work with them and head up their addiction and opiate areas. So we hope to be meeting with her soon after she gets settled in. So it's one of those problems that, you know, you can just casually bring up about on a statistics side, and then see that it cuts through our whole, the whole fabric of our society. So it's really something that I know the town council has been very involved in and trying to speak out and work with agencies on, but it's something we've been working for years to try to resolve, and hopefully 2015 will be the year that we make some significant headway in it.
Absolutely. Well, really, you know, I give credit to all of the department heads and yourself for bringing the issue up and not being afraid to talk about it, and certainly hearing from all those different perspectives, whether it comes from the superintendent or the senior center or the police. That just shows how multifaceted and really pervasive the issue is. And it's not just one aspect of the population that's being affected, it's almost everyone.
Well, and then when it hits in a family, it's not just the individual, the addict, that, you know, becomes the focus of how to solve the problem for them. It just impacts the family life all the way through. So my heart goes out to those that have had to deal with it, and it's all economic levels, and we certainly hope that as I say, we can keep working on this and try to make headway in 2015.
Great. Well, Tom, I thank you so much, as always, for joining us here on Barnstable This Morning. A pleasure to have you on the show. And you mentioned e-news, and I want to mention to our viewers who may not be on that list, they can go to our website and sign up and get the weekly e-news. It comes out every Friday.
Please do.
Very good. Tom, thank you so much. Dr. Mary Kowski up next.